you guys I would be back, so I am. We're going to get into a few different things, what's happening at the trial, what's going on. Allow me a moment to do my setup on this side. I said I would come back and I would, as long as I had some good information or general information or some updated information that I could cover with you guys. We covered a lot yesterday, today. We talked about the judge and some of the concerns he had. We did talk about that. Let me get in here and find myself. Yeah, I came back, y'all. I came back for y'all. So I appreciate you all for being here. Like the video as you guys come in. Subscribe to the page as you guys come in. Hold on one second. Like the video, like the video. Hold on. Gotta do stuff on my side. Am I over on the live or am I? So thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21, where we focus on hot topics, trending topics. We've been covering the Diddy trial, what's been talked about, what's going on in the court, what's happening outside of the court. We just been covering everything, y'all, and I've been trying to update y'all the best way I can. Listening to the reports from the news on what's actually happening. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. There we go. I should have cut that off. Okay, let me get to the disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Like the videos you guys come in. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Yep, I came back just to kind of go over what's being talked about. I'm heard that Brandon, the mule, did show up, but he did not take the stand yet. I saw a video. He looks pretty nice. Nice suit, trimmed pants, thinner pants. I don't know, if you don't know, Brandon was the one that got arrested in regards to the substances he had on him as he traveled with Diddy. Brandon was the one that was traveling with Diddy and the family, and that was the same day that the house was raided. Come on in, come on in. I'm still doing stuff on my side. Okay, now I'm all set. Okay, so we're going to talk about what's been transpiring, what happened. Wanted to bring y'all some TTT. More people are coming in. Okay, a lot more people are coming in. So like the videos you guys come in. Like the videos you guys come in. I promised y'all life, and here I am. So we're going to talk about, hi. Like I've said in all my videos, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. A judge jury is going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing on his side. I can't confirm or deny what happened. I'm just here reporting just like everyone else. So be kind in the comments. Whoever you are, not this person, the first person, the second person, and the third comment, YouTube is blocking your comments. I can't even see the comments that you made. So be careful of what you say in the comments. YouTube is blocking you. And sometimes certain words are triggered by YouTube. So they'll block your comments. So be kind in the comments. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before where you're watching from. We are basically talking about, in the message that you're seeing flashing, Diddy was reacting to not wanting, or their team, certain people wanting the famous person to be named. And it's being reported from here is that Diddy might have looked a certain way if that person would be named. Some say he might have wanted it to be named. Some say he might not have wanted to be named. So we're going to get into some clips talking about Diddy court. Like if you missed this morning, there were some things that went on in court, and the judge was not happy about. We're going to get into that as well. But like and subscribe to the page. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Um, so the biggest thing is there's been a lot going on in court since Wednesday, Thursday. Kanye showed up Friday, and then today, allegedly, there is a news report allocation that the judge talked with the attorneys about. He wasn't happy about the news and certain information being leaked that was supposed to be sealed and not leaked to the press. So, we're going to talk about a few different things. So, if you're missed this morning, go check out that video from this morning. We're going to briefly cover what happened this morning, but we're going to get into some things. Also, if you did not know, juror number 6 was removed over the weekend. Diddy's team asked for a mistrial because allegedly Diddy's team did not want juror number 6 to be removed because they felt that there would be concerns in regards to race. I have to be general on my page because YouTube is friendly and we have to be careful of the things we say. So sometimes be friendly to the people that's reporting because in our everyday life we can talk the way we want to talk, but on YouTube we have to be cautious about what we say. Um so sometimes you'll hear different people pause or they have to figure out a different way to say things. So I hope everyone's having a great day. I don't know where you are, but it is extremely hot and it's going to be hot for the next several days. So, yeah, there's a lot that's been going on in the court. Delays Wednesday, slight major delays on Thursday of last week. Sidebars, a lot went on Thursday. So we're going to get into this clip here. So like the video as you guys come in. Thanks for being here. Um, yeah, it's not for me to decide. I'm just here, just posting videos. I'm just here posting videos. So it is what it is. He is the one that's in jail. And a judge jury has to decide. He's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. It's not for me to decide. I'm just over here giving y'all the TTT. Be kind in the comments. YouTube will block you. Yeah. So, um, okay. So right now we're actually seeing Diddy former assistant arriving. It looks like Brandon Paul arrives in a black suit, black shoes. Look like he has a white shirt on. He is arriving to court. Now it's being reported that Paul, um, Brandon, we'll just call him Brandon, did not yet testify. He has not yet testified. Um, and we're awaiting that testimony from him. Okay, hold on one second. Like the videos, you guys come in. Like the videos, you guys come in.
Jury came in. The judge scolded attorneys from both parties. He was upset about an online article. He didn't say which one, but it discussed sealed material. When he asked attorneys from both parties if they knew the source of the leak, they said no, and the judge said, quote, "Someone is lying." The judge said there's a gag order in the case, and violation of that could result in civil or criminal contempt charges. He warned them, there is no passing the buck anymore. The buck stops with you. They're also going to be addressing an issue with another juror later today. You may remember yesterday, the judge dismissed juror number 6 and replaced him with an alternate. This is a separate issue they will be dealing with separately, another juror later today. Prosecutors also said they may rest their case as early as tomorrow. The defense expects their case to last anywhere from 2 to 5 days, so the judge pointed out he could be charging the jury next week.
Okay, so he may be speaking with the jury next week to do what they need to do. Um, okay, so it's being reported that special agent claimed Diddy paid travel and hotel expenses allegedly for male people. I have to be careful. Says the mogul used Frank Black allegedly as the fake name in regards to booking the hotels. So we're going to kind of look up hot topics, trending topics. Allegedly, they have receipts in regards to Diddy flights and hotels in regards to them setting things up. So, what's happening now, too? If you guys did not know, yesterday they were showing the jury in regards to what was happening in regards to the FOs. Now they're trying to show that Diddy set up certain things. So yesterday, a lot of information went out to the jury, and they were able to see certain things that people in the overflow room could not hear. In the overflow room, and even in the main courtroom, you could not hear what the jurors could hear. So there was a lot going on in regards to videos that was shown to the jurors. Um, in regards to, I'm on Radar Online, it is talking about J Lo. It just wasn't a good relationship for me. She was basically saying she had to learn to take care of herself. So I don't know why J Lo is all of a sudden speaking. A lot of us want to hear from all of his exes. We do. Real talk. Like the video and please subscribe to the page. We're trying to hit 39K. Like the video and please subscribe to the page. Like we're saying, it's also coming from TMZ. Diddy paid travel, hotel expenses to the male people, as the special agent testified. Mm-hmm. If you guys did not know, we're generally going to speak. It's being reported that R. Kelly was rushed to the hospital over alleged over, and many are wondering if that was a setup. So I just want to be general regarding that. If you guys did not know, Diddy's defense team showed jurors more FO footage. So the jurors have had a lot to deal with yesterday. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. And then, of course, we know that Kanye West showed up last week to support Diddy. Okay, so let's get to more clips. Hold on one second. We already talked about that. Hold on one second. Like the video as you guys come in. Please subscribe to the page. I promised you guys I would come back, and I did. So hold on one second.
The Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and
fair use reaction clip. Let's react to what's being said.
Racketeering trial is happening, and we have joining us now from there outside of that federal courthouse. Court TV senior producer Emanuela Grinberg. And Emanuela, you've been inside of that courthouse all day, and we had some
getting information from Court TV. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
breaking news about a juror that's been lost.
Morning. Good afternoon. That's right. Yes, we knew that we would get a ruling on this morning. On Friday, the judge announced that he was inclined to dismiss Juror 6, basically a black man in his 40s, basically for inconsistencies about his residency, where he lived and with whom he lives. And on Friday, the judge had basically indicated that comparing statements that he'd made both in jury selection and then just like an offhanded remark that he happened to make after the trial.
Yeah, this is a live. It shows live in the top corner. Yes, this is live. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Started suggested a lack of candor about where he lived, whether it was in the Bronx, which is part of the district from where they pull jurors, or New Jersey, which is not part of the district where they pull jurors from in this federal court. So basically, he just made it official. This juror is off, and he has been replaced by an alternate. And so that was the start of the day. And then now we are on, as you know, this is week 6. This is day 24 of the government's case, and we're starting to really wind down. We are in what's called the summary witness portion of the case. And this is where basically, essentially, extended members of the prosecution team come in and talk about exhibits that we've already seen, but it's now we have a bit more context for text messages, audio files, audio messages that we've heard earlier in the case. These witnesses are basically stringing it all together. So this morning we heard about exhibits and texts and audio that were all gathered from the phone of Christina Coram. Now this is someone who has been described as Sean.
Now, if you did not know, Christina Coram, KK, worked with Diddy. They've been talking a lot about KK over the last several days. Messages, Cassie speaking to Christina, complaining about what's going on. And she said, okay, when he wakes up, I'll talk to Diddy, is what KK said. So there's been a lot going on in regards to KK's name being mentioned. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Double tap the screen to hit the like. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Combs' chief of staff, right-hand woman. She's with him for a very long time, spanning alleged victims Jane and Cassie Ventura. So we've heard a lot about all the evidence and all the communications, and now we're just really getting a sense of all the people she was texting throughout these years, all the members of the alleged enterprise, the assistants, the staff, talking about setting up king nights, setting up hotel nights, restocking baby oil, all these things just to show how involved she was, but also the knowledge that she had of potentially knowledge she may have had about what was going on behind those closed doors. And so we're continuing with these summary witnesses, and we hope to hear from another assistant before the state wraps as early as Wednesday.
All right.
And so, like I said, we're supposed to hopefully hear from Brandon maybe tomorrow. Fair use ration clip. Like the videos, you guys come in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the show. We're going to hear from CBS News. Hold on one second. Like the video, like the video. A lot of the information I know, but I'm getting the information from the news to tell you so they can break it down the best way they can break it down. A lot of information to retain.
Is underway in the sex trafficking and racketeering trial of hip-hop mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs.
A
special agent returns to the stand to walk the jury through Combs' hotel records.
Yeah, they said Kanye showed up for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was. By the time he got in and out of the car, listened, and then he left, probably everything 15, 20 minutes. Now, was Kanye seeking media attention, clicks, and views? Was he really trying to support, or was he trying to get some media attention? Is he out there to show support? Because as you know, Diddy's team has been asking for a mistrial. Is Kanye thinking in his mind, let's come together, Diddy, if you get out, let's rebrand? Because Kanye has a lot going on. You guys can put in the comments of what Kanye has going on, stuff in regards to his comments to different cultures, stuff in regards to custody battle with the K's and the J's. Kanye has a lot going on. The way he dresses his wife is concerning. Recently, Kanye did not know he didn't have trademark access to what his children can do with him. Allegedly, the K's and the J's own those trademarks and not Kim and Kanye. So Kanye has a lot going on. Is he trying to attach himself to Diddy because he's trending and going viral? And Kanye's trending also. But sometimes they say Kanye's trending allegedly for the wrong reasons. So is he trying to attract his name to Diddy because Kanye's trending and he wants to trend for something else? That could be. So let's continue with the video. Fair use reaction clip. There's about 246 in the building. If I can please get 200 people to subscribe, we're trying to hit 39K. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
But as CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman reports, today started with discipline for both the defense and the prosecution. Take a look.
The judge reprimanded both parties this morning after information from a sealed proceeding ended up in an article. He says that someone flagrantly violated the court's orders and he's going to be investigating this. He also warned against any further violations. He said that he would put people on the stand and take away their phones if that happens. We're also hearing from a couple witnesses today, Special Agent Delisa Penland and then Brendan Paul, a former assistant of Sean Combs. Paul has been given immunity for his testimony. He was actually arrested back in March of 2024 on a day when a couple of Combs' homes were raided. And he was originally charged with drug possession at the time. Those charges were later dropped. Delisa Penland has been showing the jury charts. These bring together hotel records, different communications behind the scenes. This is all.
Now, why would Brendan's charges be dropped? If he had that on him, why would that be dropped? Anybody else, would their stuff be dropped? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Ask yourself that. Why would his charges be dropped if that's what he really had on him? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Very important for the racketeering conspiracy charge that the government has brought against Sean Combs, because we're seeing how things were paid for, how those payments came out of accounts that were linked to Combs' company. We're also seeing communications between his employees, such as Christina Coram, his former chief of staff, who the government has identified as a co-conspirator in this case, security guards, assistants, surrounding incidents like the Intercontinental Hotel, where we heard testimony about how a security officer was given $100,000 to turn over security footage of Sean Combs assaulting Cassie Ventura. So all of this is really helping the government to bring its case together, and the defense is now also cross-examining her and trying to poke holes in that testimony. Katrina Kaufman, CBS News, New York.
Be kind in the comments. We're not going to be giving out addresses of any sort. This page is a little different. We're very cautious about what we do and what we say over here. Certain things I ignore, but we have to be very careful over here in regards to certain things we say and do. Other pages, they say whatever. They do clickbait. We don't do stuff like that over here. So we're cautious about what is said. Like I said before, Denny is innocent till proven guilty in a court of law, but I am not going to be promoting no type of party. No, thank you, sir or ma'am. So let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Like the video as you guys come in. We're talking about what transpired today and what transpired Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And yeah, like I said, he's innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. It's not up to me. Okay, let's get to this fair use reaction clip.
Sketches. More testimony underway this morning in the sex trafficking and racketeering trial against disgraced hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. So right now we're hearing again from a special agent with the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Let me finish that statement. He's innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. A judge, jury's going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing. It's not up to me. Let's continue. Like the video and don't forget to subscribe. And thank you.
Specifically in the very tough, historically, Southern District of New York. She is walking the jury through records related to Combs' hotel stays in Los Angeles. So let's bring in CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman, stepping out of that courtroom to talk to us live outside the courthouse. Some pretty fascinating moments there. The jury having to look at some hard evidence.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Reed, that's absolutely right. This jury is finally seeing videos of the freak-offs, these sexual encounters that Sean Combs and his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura would have with other men. So they were shown them by the prosecution yesterday, and they're watching these in a way where we don't know exactly what they're seeing. They're wearing headphones in the courtroom. There are blinders on their screens. And now the defense is actually, during cross-examination, also showing them other portions of these videos because each side sees this as evidence in a very different way. The prosecution views this as evidence of the coercion of the alleged sex trafficking that was going on here. The defense wants to show that these were consensual encounters, even if maybe some view them as unorthodox. It's also worth noting that this morning the judge reprimanded both parties. Excuse me, there was an article.
We're going to listen to what happened this morning at the courtroom. Let's listen in. Fair use reaction clip
that came out that had some information from a sealed proceeding, and he's very upset about this. He says it's a violation. Both parties said they didn't know what was going on. He says someone is lying, and he's going to investigate because information from a sealed proceeding is not supposed to leave his chambers.
Well, and as I ask this question, my friend, and I know what it's like to be on live TV and have a frog in your throat, you can just take a little bit of a break. We understand from what we're hearing out of the courtroom that Combs then called and texted his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, after that 2016 hotel altercation that was caught on tape or on video. What do those text messages reveal?
Yes, some of the evidence that we've been seeing is what was happening behind the scenes. So that Intercontinental Hotel incident where Combs appeared to assault Cassie Ventura on video, we saw these records of him writing her. He was telling her that he was going to be arrested. That wasn't true. He was fervently trying to get in touch with her. We also saw that his former chief of staff, Christina Coram, who's being viewed as a co-conspirator in this case, was also texting an assistant behind the scenes as they were trying to get the security footage. So we see all of these interactions with Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura, Sean Combs and Eddie Garcia, the security officer who ultimately handed over that footage, and people from his company who were working behind the scenes to get that. And this is all very important for the racketeering conspiracy case, Reed, for the prosecution to show that there was knowledge and an effort.
Yeah, they were trying to get that tape, everyone. Like the video, double tap the screen, and subscribe. Thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Cover up what was going on.
Prosecutors continue building their case, and we know, Katrina, you were on that case. We appreciate you so much for...
Okay, so that's coming from CBS News. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Continue to hit the like button. I'm just bringing you guys the updated information of what has been talked about in the courtroom from today and yesterday. At some point, Brandon will hit the stand. He was there, but he did not hit the stand today. Let's continue. Like the video as you guys come in. Please subscribe, and thank you.
And receipts they believe will prove their case. A paralegal for the government reading text messages recovered from a phone belonging to Combs' chief of staff, Christina Coram. An exchange with Cassie Ventura from April 2018 reads, "Hey, I'm sorry about last night. I can't do the violence. Scary kicked me out of my own house stuff anymore. I got Carrie and bounced." Coram responding, "Are you okay? I don't even know what to say, but I'm here if you need anything."
If you guys don't know, this is Cassie and Diddy's assistant texting back and forth. Let's continue.
Recap from Lower Manhattan.
Monday morning, federal prosecutors working to close the loop in the sex trafficking and racketeering case of Sean Diddy Combs, presenting dozens of text messages and receipts they believe will prove their case. A paralegal for the government reading text messages recovered from a phone belonging to Combs' chief of staff, Christina Coram. An exchange with Cassie Ventura from April 2018 reads, "Hey, I'm sorry about last night. I can't do the violence. Scary kicked me out of my own house stuff anymore. I got Carrie and bounced." Coram responding, "Are you okay? I don't even know what to say, but I'm here if you need anything. Ventura responding, I'm okay, just bummed. Corum texting back, I'm sure. Stay focused, though. It's not worth derailing. That much I know. Another text from March 2022 about picking up drugs for Combs at his LA house, asking Jane, hey, per PD, can you swing by Mapleton on your way to the airport to pick up a G package? While Corum has not been...
So Diddy allegedly asked Jane Doe to pick up substances. Did y'all catch that? He asked Jane Doe to pick up substances. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
18 reads, hey, I'm sorry about last night. I can't do the violence. Scary kicked me out of my own house stuff anymore. I got Carrie and bounced. Corum responding, are you okay? I don't even know what to say, but I'm here if you need anything. Ventura responding, I'm okay, just bummed. Corum texting back, I'm sure. Stay focused, though. It's not worth derailing. That much I know. Another text from March 2022 about picking up drugs for Combs at his LA house, asking Jane, hey, per PD, can you swing by Mapleton on your way to the airport to pick up a G package? While Corum has not been indicted and is not on the government's witness list, prosecutors have been building their conspiracy case surrounding her actions, also showing jurors this text exchange with Combs after Ventura filed a civil suit in November 2023, telling Combs, if you cannot be honest with me, this doesn't work. We all know what your kryptonite is and where you don't make the best choices. Combs responding, come take my phone. In part, Corum responds, has nothing to do with taking your phone. If you're starting to lie about anything to me, I'm just saying that will break me. Today, jurors seeing other text messages about Combs' drug purchases. In November 2022, writing, Molly, 15 pills. Don't text, think. In an April 2023 text from a security guard that says, same vendor from above. An additional 1,800 has been approved. And jurors watched 1-minute clips from 3 different freak-off videos and saw actual dollar amounts Combs paid to transport escorts over state lines. But before testimony started today, juror number 6 dismissed after finding out the 41-year-old black male actually lives in New Jersey and replaced with an alternate, a 57-year-old white male from Westchester.
Our thanks to General Miles as always.
So they're stating juror number 6 actually lives in New Jersey. How did they slip that up? What does his ID show? Did they not make it clear to the jurors? You have to be living in New York. You can't move. You can't transfer. When you are on this jury, you have to remain in New York. Who messed that up? But here nor there, that juror was removed. Did y'all catch that? They were talking about contacting him, asking what type of substances, and then they were just talking about the amounts of what was approved. Let's go back. Fair use reaction clip.
Molly, 15 pills. Don't text, think. In an April 2023 text from a security guard that says, same vendor from above. An additional 1,800 has been approved. And jurors watched 1-minute clips from...
So now they're saying 1,800 was approved for what he wanted, whether that was room, hotels, or substances. Let's continue. Fair
3
use.
different freak-off videos and saw actual dollar amounts Combs paid to transport escorts over state lines. But before testimony started today, juror number 6 dismissed after finding out the 41-year-old black male actually lives in New Jersey and replaced with an alternate, a 57-year-old white male from Westchester.
Want to save on fuel and keep your
Fair
fleet's
use
expenses
reaction clip. So that's interesting that they're showing Diddy's interaction with employees and what his requests are. Fair use reaction clip.
Great to see you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
So starting another week, first off, let's talk about this juror. Because when we left off last week, we thought that we knew that the judge was going to sort of look over everything over the weekend. What ultimately was the problem and what happens now?
So the judge had great concern as to this juror's candor, meaning that he wasn't being upfront as to a basic question as to where do you reside and who do you reside with. And that gave great pause and hesitation to the judge because the judge is like, well, if you can't get a consistent answer, an upfront answer as to something that is so basic and that's key to your qualification to be a juror, then it leads me to believe that you had a motive to try to get on this jury. And that is quite possible. I don't know what you're going to do when it comes to deliberation. Are you going to follow the law? Are you going to apply the facts fair and impartially? So in order to keep the integrity of the process, the judge was like, I'm going to use my discretion, and he has a discretion alone, doesn't need the consent of either party to actually excuse this juror and replace them with an alternate. So this changes the dynamics of the jury because as the defense stated, by excusing this juror, an African-American juror, now you're changing the diversity dynamics of the jury. That juror was replaced by Caucasian male from upstate. Here you have the African-American male in his 40s from the Bronx and actually has some insight as to the hip-hop industry, and it changes the conversation when it comes to deliberation. So a lot changes with replacing a juror, but in the end, the judge didn't want to take any chances.
Also important to point out, we don't know how they will view the case.
Exactly, exactly.
And that's the thing with the judge and with the attorneys too. You don't know.
You don't know. You don't know. But one thing about this juror number 6, is that throughout the trial, because I've been in the courtroom pretty much every day of this trial, with the exception of, I believe, just 1 or 2 days, and that with this juror, in the beginning of the case, he was taking a lot of notes. But towards the last few weeks or so, anything that was pro Sean Combs, he would start taking notes. But in terms of the other testimony, he stopped taking notes and he started making facial expressions that kind of led you to believe that he may be siding with the defense at this point. But again, you don't know. We're just reading body language.
And certainly once they get in the room and they all are able to talk,
exactly,
things could happen.
And that's the first time. Remember, it's not until the judge gives them the jury instruction and tells the jury of 12, like, now you are allowed to speak amongst each other and deliberate on this case.
All right, let's talk about the moment where the jury, for the first time, were able to view portions of these so-called freak-offs,
yes,
these sexual sessions. Take me into the courtroom. How did that play out, and what was the reaction?
So we're about to hear the reactions of the jurors' faces, if they're going to give one, if she was watching. But fair use reaction clip. Let's continue. Please subscribe to the page, and thank you.
From the jurors.
So the prosecution called 2 witnesses today. The first witness was a paralegal specialist who brought in several summary charts about text messages, about times and dates of calls and invoices and different paperwork. But it was more of the second witness. The second witness was a special agent. And that second witness actually had different recordings, and 2 of those recordings were actual freak-offs. And that was part of their summary chart. So the prosecution, for the first time, played this for the jury. But before they played it for the jury, they made sure that each of the jurors, as well as the defense and the judge and the witness, had headphones. So that way the audience, like myself, wouldn't have been able to hear or see the video that was being played in the screens of these jurors. But they were watching, I believe, maybe the first minute out of a 39-minute freak-off video. And when they were watching it, they weren't making much facial expressions at all. But then again, I'm thinking, well, you just lost a juror, so now they're more cautious about any type of expressions that they can make. But they were watching the video, and just remember that this video and all of the exhibits that were given to them, they will have access, unlimited access to those when they are deliberating.
So they, in the jury room, could view all
Absolutely.
of the evidence.
Yes.
What is the point of the prosecution to pick out certain parts or just a few moments of the video?
So in terms of a few moments, just to show them, to give them a glimpse of the video, because they did tell the jury that this specific video was, I believe, 39 minutes and a few seconds long. It's just to give them some insight as to, look, corroboration that there was a freak-off, that this victim, whether it's Cassie or whether it was Jane, was involved in a freak-off with another male escort, one that's been named, or you saw a photograph where that escort actually testified. So corroboration, because you don't have to now just take the word of Cassie or Jane. Now you have a video that you can see for yourself that, look, oh, this actually did happen, and I don't have to figure out whether there was a freak off or not.
Let's discuss the text messages that we heard in Darla's summary there of what happened today with the woman known as KK.
Yes.
Which was, or...
So as we know, KK worked with Diddy. Listen very clearly. Let's continue. Please subscribe to the page, and thank you. Fair use reaction clip.
Perhaps still is Sean Diddy Combs' right-hand person, if you will. Very close, chief of staff, but it seemed like so much more than that.
Look, Mike, KK knows all the dirt.
And that's...
KK knows where the bodies are buried. So let's be clear about that, because KK, one thing about the prosecution is that even though they have not called KK to the stand, you've heard so much about this woman. There's a photograph of this woman in evidence, so the jury can picture who she is. Her cell phone was recovered and it was searched. So a lot of the evidence having to deal with text messages and voice recordings and actually recordings of conversations were recovered from her cell phone. So even though she didn't testify, her cell phone information was entered into evidence. And you heard testimony from Jane and from Cassie about how KK was so instrumental in Sean Combs' camp. So while they didn't see her testify on the stand, they did hear a lot of her.
And what do we hear today?
So in terms of KK, whether she's going to testify or not, highly unlikely that she is going to testify, because the prosecution believes that they will rest on Wednesday. Today is Monday. They're calling summary witness.
And why is she not? Is she assisted or worked? And she's communicating with what happened to alleged employees, what happened to the girlfriends, and where are his other girlfriends? What's really going on? Are you guys not surprised his girlfriends for the last 5 or 6 years after Cassie did not take the stand? Where are they? Where are they? There's about 235 in the building. If I can please get 200 people to hit the subscribe button. If I can please get 259 people to hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Why do you think that they haven't contacted the other girlfriends after Cassie? You guys let me know. Fair use reaction clip.
You're thinking about a witness like KK, you know that's a witness that will last a few days, at least 2 days on the stand, and that's not what's happening with the timeline that they provided to the court and to the defense. I mean, the reality is, it's like, look, if KK were to testify, it changes the complete dynamics of this case. But just to be clear, she would be testifying either under a cooperation agreement, because the prosecution has stated that KK is a co-conspirator to Sean Combs. So either cooperation agreement or under immunity.
So why not? Guess which student has
Fair
a
use
better
reaction
chance?
clip. Please like the video as you guys come in. Let's let the commercial go past. Please like the video as you guys come in. They're picking and choosing who's going to take the stand and who's going to get immunity. Let's continue.
Why not force her to testify, though, if she's so integral to the case?
So it's
Please be kind in the comments. YouTube is blocking your comments. So whoever you are, be kind to go away or go on your page. Be kind in the comments. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
many things could be happening just as a former prosecutor. As a former prosecutor, in terms of a person like KK, and you know that this person is exposed to criminal liability, you will have to offer them either complete immunity, where you're like, look, you can testify and I'm not going to prosecute you for anything with the exception of if you were to commit perjury on the stand. So that's one alternative, but you can still say, like, throw whatever you want at me, I'm not going to testify. Cooperation agreement, that's if KK is interested in a cooperation agreement. She would still have to agree to the terms of a cooperation agreement. It could be like, I've had witnesses when I was a prosecutor or even as a defense attorney now that I'm like, I don't care what you offer them, they are not going to testify for you, Ms. Prosecutor or Mr. Prosecutor. They rather take the jail time or take whatever alternative or take their chances that you will prosecute them.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Let's continue to listen. I like how she's breaking it down. Fair use reaction clip.
As opposed to taking the stand and testifying against someone else.
In some of the text messages that we heard from today or read today, there was a fraying of the relationship between Sean Combs and KK at one point. What did we learn from those text messages today?
So you had ups and downs in their relationship, but in terms of Sean Combs and KK's relationship, so you could tell that after Cassie's lawsuit and also after the search warrant was executed at the Florida as well as the Los Angeles home, that KK may have been getting cold feet. And was noticing that, look, I may be exposed here. That's the inference that you can make from this. So I think she was at that point just trying to see how everything played out, but she did keep some distance away from Sean Combs to see how it plays out. And then ultimately, you know that a few months later in September, Sean Combs is arrested. So it's only
no, because we saw KK and Diddy sitting outside a few times. Remember that? Fair use reaction clip. I saw that. KK and Diddy was sitting outside a little after he got arrested. Fair use reaction clip. And allegedly he's helping with several people's lawyer alleged fees. Possibly Jane Doe, that was mentioned in court, alleged. And he may be assisting KK, alleged, with her lawyer concerns, if they plan on doing anything with her. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
But so much contact that you'll have with Sean Combs, because while he's in custody, KK's not an attorney, so all phone calls are being recorded, right?
Yes.
They're monitoring Sean Combs' interaction. So even if Sean Combs wanted to send a message, who would he send that message with? Because everything is recorded, with the exception if you send it with an attorney is not going to jeopardize their license over this.
So we're wrapping up this trial. You know, we're just in the final stages here, it seems like, because the prosecution is expected to rest on Wednesday. What more do we expect from their case?
So in terms of the prosecution has already started off with trying to tie everything up with a bow, right? So 2 summary witnesses today, and those summary witnesses were able to give this jury a breakdown of the racketeering conspiracy, the transportation to engage in prostitution. In terms of the racketeering conspiracy, they were dead set in highlighting the portions of the text messages, of the voice notes, of the audio recordings, of the flight records, of the hotel reservations, all made under this Combs enterprise. So the business and personal mixed, and that works for the prosecution, because it's like, wait, if you're using Combs enterprise for some of your personal benefits, then you're making that Combs enterprise a criminal enterprise. So they were able to highlight what portions were paid for these travel and these escorts and the personnel.
She did a really good breakdown of the messages are showing the interaction between Diddy and some of his people. So let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like I said, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The information that we're presenting may help someone. So this is YouTube. This is what we do. We do commentary, and we're listening to the news talk about what's happening in regards to this trial. Fair use reaction clip.
within your enterprise that you use to help facilitate these free calls in terms of booking the hotel rooms, of you using the security to reach out to witness, Mia here, so witness tampering. But they were able to highlight also drug possession and having the drugs move from California with Jane, with KK, making contact with Jane ultimately picking up those drugs and then bringing it to California. Again, possession with intent to distribute. So they were able to make out a lot of those racketeering activities by using these chart summaries and making it easy for this jury to be like, look, you don't have to look through thousands and thousands of pages of text messages. I'm pointing out to you in this summary the different text messages that inculpate Sean Combs and that make out these counts.
There are substances too. Are people really paying attention to what's being said? It's just not one-sided. There's a lot of information that's being put out, and it's not just that. If there's substances and he's asking people to pick up substances and here's the money for this, and he's setting up hotels, it's more than just the FOs. If he's a businessman, why are you more so focused on not business and you're more so focused on FOs and alleged grabbing people in an unwanted way? He's a businessman. Why is he not focused more so on business? Okay? So people need to realize that. Hollywood, there's been so much going on. This may stop the next person from allegedly doing things they should not be doing. Because you got to remember, last week, there was a famous rapper that had an FO, and the courts are not wanting to name that famous rapper. So there's stuff that's going on in the industry. People only want to hush you when they want to silence what needs to be told. Okay? So over here, we're praying for the victims, alleged victims, and this is a court trial hearing. We're going to present the information that the news is giving us. That's why I allow the news to tell us, not just my writing and telling you guys. That's why I go to the news. Fair use reaction clip. I don't wish what's being alleged to no mother, daughter, aunt. I don't wish this on what's being alleged to any employee. Any employee should not be fearful of having a job, being on a job, or allegedly being blackmailed or being told you're going to be blacklisted. What's being alleged is concerning. Certain people may be okay with what's being talked about, but over here, we're giving the information because this is what YouTube is. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's continue. Fair use.
Racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, but most importantly, also transportation to engage in prostitution. So I believe that the prosecution is going to call probably one more law enforcement witness on Wednesday, but also more importantly, we have one more civilian that's going to testify. Brendan Paul, Mike.
And who is that?
So Brendan Paul was
We're about to listen to who Brendan Paul is, who was traveling with Diddy the day his house got raided. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Personal assistant or worked in the orbit of Sean Combs. Specifically, we don't know how intricate he was in working with Sean Combs, but what we do know is that March 2024, February 2024, sometime last year, that he was arrested while he was with Sean Combs, and in his possession were narcotics. So we all had that question back then, was like, oh, he has information on Sean Combs, he gets arrested with narcotics, guess what they're going to do? The prosecution has leverage over him. So the question was whether he was going to flip and testify against Sean Combs. Where here we have it. Brendan Paul is going to be called by the prosecution to testify about Sean Combs. What I presume he's going to testify about is about providing drugs to Sean Combs, about these requests for the drugs for Sean Combs, possibly whatever engagement he had or interactions with Sean Combs, other employees, for example, KK, again tying in that enterprise. So Brendan Paul is about to spill whatever dirt he knows. So we're just going to have to wait and see.
So they're tying in things in regards to his enterprise. So the biggest thing is he has people working for him. They got a little messy in regards to their messages. Please pick up this substance, the hotel information, utilizing different names. They're building the case. That's what they're doing. Everybody was saying, oh, I don't see it. Week 1. They're not even done with the trial. So certain people, minds, don't really see the bigger picture. But it's going to be up to the jury. Like I said, I have to say to protect my page, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. A jury's going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing, period. Let's continue. Fair use.
Whatever engagement he had or interactions with Sean Combs, other employees, for example, KK, again tying in that enterprise. So Brendan Paul is about to spill whatever dirt he knows. So we're just going to have to wait and see.
We'll see what happens. Bernardo, always great to have you.
So that was Eyewitness News. Okay. So I promised you guys that I was going to come back. I did that. I promised you guys I was going to tell you what happened in regards to the courtroom. Let me go here. Hold on one second. Like the videos you guys come in. Like the videos you guys come in. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Has been proven. The things I've heard, the testimony, the video I observed, I'm convinced that he was involved in at least 2 cases of assault and battery against women. I'm convinced that yes, he facilitated or was an accessory and
this is Judge Joe Brown,
an accomplice to the explosion in the car. And to that extent,
allegedly,
I'd have to give him a few years. And
so there's that. Many people were concerned in regards to what alleged happened with Kid Cudi, in regards to what happened in regards to his car. That in itself is concerning.
The judge scolded attorneys from both parties. He was upset. Scolded attorneys from.
Let me go back.
Scolded attorneys from both parties. He was upset about an online article. He didn't say which one, but it discussed sealed material. When he asked attorneys from both parties if they knew the source of the leak, they said no, and the judge said, quote, someone is lying. The judge said there's a gag order in the case, and violation of that could result in civil or criminal contempt charges. He warned them, there is no passing the buck anymore. The buck stops with you. They're also going to be addressing an issue with another juror later today. You may remember yesterday, the judge dismissed juror number 6 and replaced him with an alternate. This is a separate issue they will be dealing with separately, another juror later today. Prosecutors also said they may rest their case as early as tomorrow. The defense expects their case to last anywhere from 2 to 5 days. So the judge pointed out he could be charging the jury next week.
Yeah, should be talking with the jury by next week and giving them instructions. So the jury's going to go through a lot of information over the next few days. More people are coming in. Like the videos you guys come in. Like the videos you guys come in. Fair use reaction clip. We're just giving updates on what has transpired in regards to the court case. We're just doing updates in regards to what's happening in regards to the court case. So more and more people are coming in. Like the videos you guys come in.
And also these courtroom sketches. More testimony underway this morning in the sex trafficking and racketeering trial against disgraced hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. So right now we're hearing again from a special agent with the U.S. Attorney's Office, specifically in a very tough, historically Southern District of New York. She is walking the jury through records related to Combs.
So there's a special agent that spoke today. Brandon did not. Brandon, most likely, I hope they're done with the special agent. Hopefully, Brandon will speak tomorrow. The mule that allegedly had the substances. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Hotel stays in Los Angeles. So let's bring in CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman stepping out of that courtroom to talk to us live outside the courthouse. Some pretty fascinating moments there. The jury having to look at some hard evidence.
Reed, that's absolutely right. This jury is finally seeing videos of the freak-offs, these sexual encounters that Sean Combs and his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura would have with other men. So they were shown them by the prosecution yesterday, and they're watching these in a way where we don't know exactly what they're seeing.
Welcome to the channel. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before where you're watching from. There's about 152 in the building. If I can please get 100 people to hit the subscribe button, and thank you. Please subscribe and thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip, and continue to hit the like button by double tapping the screen. Thank you.
Headphones in the courtroom, there are blinders on their screens, and now the defense is actually during cross-examination also showing them other portions of these videos because each side sees this as evidence in a very different way. The prosecution views this as evidence of the coercion of the alleged sex trafficking that was going on here, whereas the defense wants to show that these were consensual encounters, even if maybe some view them as unorthodox. It's also worth noting that this morning the judge reprimanded both parties. Excuse me. There was an article that came out that had some information from a sealed proceeding, and he's very upset about this. He says it's a violation. Both parties said they didn't know what was going on. He says someone is lying, and he's
very upset about the sealed proceedings. So there's alleged information that's been leaked, and the judge is not happy about it. It was supposed to be sealed. Who leaked it? He's doing an investigation regarding that. Fair use reaction clip.
Investigate because information from a sealed proceeding is not supposed to leave his chambers.
Well, and as I ask this question, my friend, and I know what it's like to be on live TV and have a frog in your throat, you can just take a little bit of a break. We understand from what we're hearing out of the courtroom that Combs then called and texted his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, after that 2016 hotel altercation that was caught on tape or on video. What do those text messages reveal?
Because some of the evidence that we've been seeing is what was happening behind the scenes. So that Intercontinental Hotel incident where Combs appeared to assault Cassie Ventura on video, we saw these records of him writing her. He was telling her that he was going to be arrested. That wasn't true. He was fervently trying to get in touch with her.
Yeah, we had heard that he had said that he was going to be arrested, but that wasn't true. I'm glad they cleared that up. Fair use reaction clip. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Be kind in the comments. YouTube is blocking your comments, not even me. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
We also saw that his former chief of staff, Christina Coram, who's being viewed as a co-conspirator in this case, was also texting an assistant behind the scenes as they were trying to get the security footage. So we see all of these interactions with Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura, Sean Combs and Eddie Garcia, the security officer who ultimately handed over that footage, and people from his company who were working behind the scenes to get that. And this is all very important for the racketeering conspiracy case, Reed, for the prosecution to show that there was knowledge and an effort to cover up what was going on.
Prosecutors continue building.
Yeah, they wanted to cover up what was going on. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all for being here. Big thing. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Fair use. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use. For purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. So I appreciate you all for being here. I promise you guys I would come back. I'm glad I did. I was glad I was able to update you guys. Super chats are welcome. Continue to hit the like button. If I can please get 100 people to please subscribe and thank you. Super chats are welcome. Continue to hit the like button. But I hope everyone has a great afternoon. I don't know where you guys are, but it's hot. So I'm about to get back into the air. I can't have certain things, the fans running with the air. It'll be too loud, but I do have a small one going. But yeah, I'm ready to get back into the air, you guys. But I promised you guys I would come back. I did. And I hope you guys learned a lot. I pull information from the news because they give a general breakdown of basically what everyone else is saying. I go live in the morning and I sometimes go live in the afternoon. So try and tune in the morning to Let's Talk About It Media 21. I hope you enjoyed the show. I appreciate you for being here. Be around people that love and appreciate you. Real talk. I can't confirm or deny what happened in regards to this trial. I can't confirm or deny what happened with his girlfriends. I can't confirm or deny what happened in regards to the employees. A judge jury's going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing. He's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Thanks for being here, everyone. Be blessed. Goodbye. Have a great day.